48 of them so far, and the number is still going on. And each of them, it's not that they have just opened something for the sake of it. Each of them have standards, the way the startups are onboarded, the kind of curation which happens, the kind of support they get, everything is amazing, really outstanding. And in terms of the number of startups also, from 200 odd in 2014, the numbers have crossed 3,000 plus. And here again, I feel very proud, and many of you know this. Many of our startups have started receiving amazing amounts of funding. Many of them have gone to their third series or fourth series. International recognition, national recognition is coming by. Every other day we celebrate the success of some startup founder or the other. And the most important thing is that many of the startups are getting into spaces of solving real challenges which people face in their day-to-day lives. They're creating a large social impact by solving these kind of very, very pressing social problems. So what is happening in Hyderabad has been truly fantastic. And on behalf of the government, we saw this trend, we saw the opportunities, and there are a few things which we have done about which I wanted to speak about in particular. Roughly about 2.5 years ago, we created an umbrella organization in the state which is meant actually to support and create some kind of a roadmap for the entire entrepreneurial and innovation ecosystem. That institution is called the Telangana State Innovation Cell, TSIC. Some of you would have interacted with them. For those who don't know of them, the TSIC is an institution which again is headed by a person who has a proven track record in successful entrepreneurship. He is one of the founders. In fact, he is the founder of one of the very successful startups and business enterprises of our country called Red Bus. And after his exit, he chose to become a part of the Telangana government. Fanindra Sama, he's the head of our state innovation cell. And then there are about a dozen innovation fellows who work with them. I guess some of them are here today, but in this darkness, I'm not able to really figure out where they are sitting. But the work which they do is exemplary. One thing which they have done is that all these 48 incubators and co-working spaces that I spoke about, they have created a common platform where all these incubation managers, the CEOs, they interact regularly, processes are standardized. So today, whether you are in T-Hub or ICRISAT or ISB or in some private co-working space, you can be assured that there will be certain standard practices, some standard services that you will be getting regardless of where you are. But the other more important things which the innovation cell is doing, see, when we have got 48 of these amazing institutions in Hyderabad and the number is still growing, it is also our responsibility, meaning the government's responsibility, to ensure that there is a good quality pipeline of supply which tomorrow will occupy all these spaces. As some of you would know, we are in the process of building the second phase of T-Hub, which will be 5 times bigger than the first T-Hub. The first T-Hub is 70,000 square feet. The second one, which is coming up, will be 350,000 square feet. We had thought that this will become the largest in the world, but we learned that there is a incubator in Paris, which is actually a railway station, which has been converted into an incubator. So that is bigger than T-Hub phase 2. That perhaps will remain the biggest in the world. But someone was telling me that if you can talk to the railways authorities and take the Kachiguda railway station and convert it into an incubator, maybe you can challenge that Paris facility also. But perhaps that is not really required at this point in time. So the point which I was trying to make was that when we are creating such great, good quality infrastructure, we require people also, we require a pipeline of supply to utilize all this infrastructure, otherwise this will all become a white elephant. So what the TSIC does is that it goes to the colleges. In fact, Raj spoke about that these 25 people who are featured here, they should inspire 700 people, 1,000 people, but it is not going to happen just like that. There has to be a structured process behind it. And this is something which I want to personally speak about. So what the Innovation Cell does is that it goes to the colleges, particularly colleges in smaller towns, mandal headquarters, subdivision headquarters, etc., and tries to find out if faculty there are interested in creating the seeds of entrepreneurship in the students there. Boot camps are organized for the faculty. Good students are encouraged to see every engineering college. Many of you would know this. the students in their third year are required to do a college project. And as all of us know, many times this is seen just as a formality. You write some project report, you submit, no quality is demanded, no accountability is demanded. It is just a matter of getting some 30-40% marks and just passing that kind of a paper. So we are trying to change all that. We are trying to insist in at least some of the colleges that these college projects be converted into business plans. So you don't write just a simple project report, you try to apply your mind and convert it into a proper business plan. And of course, we have got business schools like the ISB and a few others to support this initiative. This is called the Technology Entrepreneurship Program. And two cohorts have got completed. The third one is going on. And I have participated in the closing ceremonies or the graduation ceremonies of these two earlier editions. And I have come out very, very impressed. The kind of ideas, the kind of creativity these students of smaller colleges in some rural parts, the kind of creativity and imagination they have shown is extremely delightful. So this is one thing which is happening, which is to create a pipeline of entrepreneurs from our college system. We also know in our country that there is lots of native wisdom. In fact, people use a word called jugaad for it, but even if you don't use these kind of words, we know that there are hundreds of people in our rural areas, in our communities, whenever they have faced some pressing problem, they have found their own solutions. So the State Innovation Cell also has a very active scouting program. They go to the villages, they go to the communities. In fact, I don't know whether some of you caught this particular event. It happened in Hyderabad in the roughly about a month ago. 65 such rural innovators, they were assembled here and they showcased some of the products, some of the solutions which they have created. And the State Innovation Cell is trying to find out more and more of such people and then give them more guidance on how to refine their products, how to commercialize it. So entrepreneurial opportunities are happening, activities are happening in the rural areas also. Of course, not in a very large scale and not everywhere, but there are people, there are creative people. I'll give you a real example. In fact, I came to this event little ahead in time and many people know me, so I was chatting with some of them. Some people appreciated my belt. You can notice I'm wearing a slightly different kind of belt. Some people who know me better, they even asked me if I bought it in Harrods or US. So, of course, I don't have the wherewithal to shop in Harrods or US. But if such kind of myths prevail, let them remain. But you will be amazed to know, if I tell this to you, that this belt is made in Nirmal in Adilabad. This belt has been made by craftspersons of our state. And I feel very proud in wearing this belt. Of course, this is also very fashionable, goes well with the shirt and the trousers that I'm wearing. But the fact that this has been made by people who are till recently, see Nirmal, I don't even know if people here have heard of this town, but this town has a very strong tradition of Nirmal paintings. There are craftspersons who make paintings typically on a wooden surface. But as all of us know, there are very few people today who buy paintings of that kind and keep them as decoration items, etc. So we suggested to them that why don't you use your art in things which are more contemporary, which are more trendy, which are more fashionable. And in 6 months' time, the Nirmal artisans, the Nirmal craftspersons came up with 30 product ideas, 30 products on which their paintings can be done. And they gifted two things to me. Of course, one is this belt, which I can wear. They also gave me a kettle, which has a beautiful Nirmal painting. I can't carry it. I mean, it will look very odd if I'm carrying a kettle everywhere. But that is again a very, very beautiful object, which has been displayed in my office. So lots of entrepreneurship opportunities, activities are happening in rural areas. Much more is possible. But the concrete specific proposal, which I want to share with these 25 people who are getting recognized today is like this. I want to make an announcement, and the announcement is that the government is putting together, the government is setting up a mentor network for the state of Telangana. Today, if you go to any incubator, I go to T-Hub very, very frequently. T-Hub has its own way of pooling mentors and linking them with the startups. But there are many other incubators, many other co-working spaces where the structured engagement with mentors does not happen. I mean, if the startup knows some people, they invite them, or if they happen to know any of the TiE charter members, they use the TiE network to link up with some mentors. but a structured opportunity of engaging with mentors is something that we want to create, again with the help of the innovation cell. And I have seen so many startups, they have ideas, they have dynamism, but they require lots of guidance, particularly the technology entrepreneurship program students with whom I have interacted with in the past, who come from these rural backgrounds, working class backgrounds. They are the ones who definitely need lots of inspiration, lots of guidance through mentors, because these are the people who have shown through their own personal example that adversities can be overcome, ideas can be refined, funding can be found, scaling up is possible. So this is something that we want to put together to support the colleges where our entrepreneurship programs are going on, to support the rural entrepreneurs whom our innovation cell is scouting. And what I would request is that I know that apart from the 25 entrepreneurs who are getting celebrated today, the organizers are bringing out another series in which women entrepreneurs will be recognized. And of course, there are many more who may or may not get this kind of a recognition, but we all acknowledge their accomplishments, their achievements. So my request would be the 25 here, the women entrepreneurs who will join this group in the next edition, and some more who are also out there. I would like all of you to become the first subscribers to this mentor forum or the mentor network that we are putting together. And this is, I mean, some people may say that it is a part of your obligation, this is a part of your duty, this is a part of your responsibility, but I am putting this to you as a moral appeal. I mean, for someone who has benefited from Telangana, from Hyderabad, who have succeeded here, who have done well here, this is the least you can do in return, which is to inspire similar young people like you. When you started, think of you yourself, what kind of situation you faced, how did you overcome. If you can just make this known to 20 other people, 40 other people, 60 other people, how amazing it will be. You will really be doing the task of nation building, which we ask everyone to do, but no one does with any amount of sincerity or seriousness. So please respond to this appeal. Please become the first subscribers to the Mentor Forum, and the State Innovation Cell will give you a very, very structured mandate. In fact, one idea which we have discussed in our State Innovation Cell is, we have 33 districts in our state. Can each of you take the responsibility of one district? And whichever is the college in that district, whoever are the rural entrepreneurs of that district, can we pool them and bring to you? You don't have to go there. They will come to you. And then you talk to them, understand what projects they are working on, what is their line of activity, what suggestions can you give, and so on and so forth. I am very, very sure that while we are already the role model state in the country, if we do these kind of things, with the help of all of you, we'll become a global kind of a destination and a benchmark on how a very comprehensive and meticulous innovation ecosystem, entrepreneurial ecosystem is put together and supported. So with this appeal, I would reach out to all of you. I have your contact details, mail IDs. I'll request our innovation cell to physically talk to each of you, explain the concept, give you a concept note, work out a structured method of engagement, and let us hope we are able to seriously do something in promoting such a beautiful program in Telangana in days and months to come. So once again, my greetings to Raj in particular for putting together this book. You spoke about Hardik Pandya. You should also remember that Hardik Pandya was banned from the Indian cricket team for making some irresponsible comments on a TV show. So next time when you meet Hardik Pandya, tell him to behave responsibly also and become a good role model for young people. Thank you very much.
You know, so the beautiful thing about this book was that it was just started with a thought. We never knew that, you know, the book will culminate into a function like this, you know, with about 600-700 people, you know, in the hall, right? So when we started, we just thought it is about the, you know, the THE, the Hyderabad entrepreneurs. Special thanks to, you know, Prashant, Sanjay and Ravi who started this group. So we thought that we'll just focus on, you know, entrepreneurs from this particular group. We have about 200 plus entrepreneurs today, but that day which is about 18 months back, we just had about like 97 or so when we started. So out of the 97, we looked at about 85. Me along with Chandru, we looked at, how do what's the qualifying criteria. We formed a small team of Vivek Verma, Pankaj Diwan, Manoj Surya, myself, Chandrasekhar, and then, one more person. And then we thought, what is it like? How do we, get to, shortlisting? So we had a beautiful shortlisting criteria that each of these companies or each of these entrepreneurs have to be unique. Okay. That was the first criteria. Second criteria was that they should be looking at growth capital, which means that they should be looking at, raising funds. The third was that, okay, are they growing at a rapid pace, okay, which is like scaling. So the other thing was, Shivani, that, are they scaling very well or no? So some of these companies, if you look at today, I'll start with Poppycorn, which has become, the alternate to popcorn these days. And it is like everybody says, okay, did you have Poppycorn instead of popcorn? We have Quack Quack, which is the, most frugal startup, profitable startup, and, amazing that if you really ask me, it is the #1 dating app, today in the country. So 3 cheers to, Ravi here. And simultaneously, look at, we have Control S, we have, Centro, we have Imaginate, we have Zipper, we have Learnpedia, we have Mera Events, we have Uses, we have the Chocolate Room, we have Zaggle, we have Number Mall, we have, Pay Swift, and Raj Paila's company, which is the, Ben Franklin Optician Stores. We have cars from Vijay. So when you look at all these guys, Nephroplus is like a name, today you can't do without in dialysis, right? Across the world, it is the most common name. Across India, it's the most common name when it comes to kidney care. So when you look at all these companies, right, Hug Innovation, if you look at, so each of these companies, if you see, they are unique, they are beautiful, they are fantastic, they will grow very well, and they will raise large amounts of capital.
Talking to all of you, I see a lot of friends, I see a lot of people that I know. Shanta, Anu, I'm sure Anu, there's going to be a book coming out soon next, making sure all women entrepreneurs are also covered. So that is happening soon. Because I heard a lot of noise online that, this was all boys club, this book. So I'm glad that there is going to be a sequel with all women entrepreneurs. Look forward to that as well. And I'm sure I'll be invited back, hopefully. Happy that Hyderabad is shaping up into a very vibrant startup ecosystem. But speaking to a lot of people of late, the last few months, I've realized a couple of things. There are lots of youngsters, lots of people, lots of not so youngsters also have a lot of ideas. Like they say, ideas are dime a dozen. But how many of them actually are able to translate from an idea to a drawing board is the big question that governments and also a lot of us need to be asking ourselves. As we all know in India, being an entrepreneur is a tough task. Being an entrepreneur, in fact, is a huge challenge in India. A lot of successful entrepreneurs I've met in the last several years have had some very common and a running theme across all their successful stories. They all tell me it's an uphill task. They all tell me it's a challenge to work with the government. They all tell me that it's best that the government actually stays away as much as it can to make sure that entrepreneurs actually succeed. But when we started our journey about 5 years ago as a new state of Telangana, we actually started asking ourselves a lot of questions as well. We said, how can we as a new state do something different? Because when you start thinking like a startup, when you start thinking like a newbie, a rookie, when you come into being for the first time, I think you'll be able to help others also who are pretty much in the same boat. So when we asked ourselves, what does it take to build a successful, a scalable, revenue positive business? We agreed on some common themes: grit, determination, most importantly, patience, perseverance are the keys to making an enterprise successful. Of course, just being scalable and sustainable doesn't alone make any enterprise successful. You also need a lot of other things going for yourself. Let me also remind you, a lot of homegrown entrepreneurs have done it in spite of governments, in spite of, insurmountable odds stacked up against them when they've set off. In fact, when Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji called for a meeting recently, I was fortunate enough to represent my political party, the Telangana Rashtra Samiti, in the capacity of the working president of the party. He's asked all the political parties a pointed question. He said, what can we do? Because India is now almost 75, independent India is almost 75 years old. He said, how do we build a new India in the 75th year of India's independence? So my answer was straightforward. So I told the Honorable Prime Minister that he has to follow the 3I mantra. I said, sir, you have to think of three things if you really want to build India into a formidable force that the world is going to respect. Also told him I had the opportunity and the luxury to tell him. And he was a very patient listener, I must tell you. I said, sir, I'm 43. Like me, many of those who've been born much after India got its independence have got an opportunity to travel the world. When we travel the world, when we see countries which are much smaller in size, which are much smaller in terms of their economy, which are much younger in terms of when they got their independence or when they became a separate country, we feel really terrible because when you travel to a Malaysia or when you travel to a Sri Lanka for that matter, or when you travel to any other part of the world and when you come back to India, you lament about a lot of things. You lament about how we are left out. Where did we miss the boat? How come we can't get the basics right, etc., etc. I also told him that he has to, because in 75th year of independence, India as a country does not have the luxury to just think of leapfrogging. If we really have to make our presence felt, if we really have to knock on the doors of the developed countries or the first world countries club, we really have to knock it with a huge bang. So therefore I said the 3 I's, innovation, inclusive growth, and infrastructure. Infrastructure, when I say infrastructure, infrastructure of all kinds. Roads, ports, health infrastructure, education infrastructure, etc., etc. But obviously, these 3 I's also need to be complemented by a 4th I, which is indigenization and Indianization. Because a lot of times, in my previous life, I was a Minister for Information Technology, worked very closely with Jayesh and a bunch of others, who are good friends now. A lot of times, young guys who come all the way from California, Silicon Valley and other places, other beautiful places across the world, they come with, some rose-tinted glasses on. When they walk into your office, especially, I had one experience which I can't forget. So there was this young gentleman who came all the way from California. He said, sir, I have a brilliant solution for your traffic problems. Obviously, I was very upbeat. I said, welcome. Why don't you tell me what it is? He said, I want to inculcate a sense of lane discipline among Hyderabadis. I said, great. That's what we need. He told me that he has a certain app which can trigger a message to the traffic command and control center if somebody abruptly cuts into your lane. I looked at him square in the eye and I told him, why don't you give me a service which sends me an alert when somebody is actually headed at me in a one-way street? He looked at me and all intrigued and perplexed. He said, why do you need that? I said, welcome to India, welcome to Hyderabad, that's the world we live in. Unfortunately or fortunately, that's the world we live in. The point I'm trying to make is, solutions, formulas, successful models that have been identified, that have been cherished, that have been appreciated elsewhere in the world, will not and may not work in India. We need our own indigenization, our own Indianized formula, our own local recipes for our own set of problems. I'm thrilled and excited that today Hyderabad's ecosystem, in fact, has inspired Raj to come out with a book, and there are already 25 youngsters who have made their presence felt in our own city of Hyderabad. 3 cheers to all of them, and a big round of applause to all of them. Also wanted to point out, there are many more wonderful stories that need to be showcased. Now, there is a guy that I know who comes from very, very humble background. His father was head constable in the local police force in Telangana. Now, this gentleman, he has floated a company, created a company called Marut Drones, promoted by our own T-Hub product, Prem of Rasta Studios. I know some of you may actually be knowing him. Trust me, that was not a plug-in for Prem. This gentleman actually has come out. He was, like I said, started from humble beginnings, but he went to IIT, and then eventually one thing led to another. He created this company called Marut Drones, which today is India's first drone company to eradicate, or to have found a formula to eradicate mosquitoes and water hyacinths on lakes. And it's a drone that works on AI. So these are the sort of new age companies, in fact, our city has seen in the last few years sprouting up. I'm delighted that we also have Shraddha Sharma here. Your story, I keep telling her, there are many stories to be told in Hyderabad, Shraddha. I think we're going to have a chat quickly, so I think I'll leave more for that later. But I think there are many, many successful stories that have come out of Hyderabad in the recent past. And I'm thrilled also to share with you that government's initiatives like T-Hub for all budding entrepreneurs, the tech space, B-Hub for women entrepreneurs has also shaped up very well. T-Works, which is a prototyping facility that's also coming up soon, is shaping up really well, I must add. And then we also have Rich. Ajit Rangnekar is the Director General of Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad, which aims to foster a collaboration between the research institutions, the academia, and also the industry of Hyderabad. Hyderabad, I'm delighted, is shaping up into a fantastic innovation ecosystem, and with T-Hub 2 and a bunch of other very exciting things happening, I would only hope that we go from strength to strength. Like I said, once again, this book obviously showcased some of the successful entrepreneurs from Hyderabad. I do believe and I do hope that many, many more successful stories will also come up, and today I hope is also not far when we will actually see a unicorn, homegrown unicorn, coming out of our own city of Hyderabad. So good luck to you all. God bless and have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
I'm very nervous talking to you. So let me just say that...
You just interviewed Prime Minister Modi.
Yeah, but Prime Minister... The Prime Minister Modi was inside his house. So it was one-on-one. This is right in front of everyone in your Hyderabad.
My backyard, yes. Thank you.
But I'm very honored. But, I have one question. I was listening to you very carefully. And one of the things that you said is it is very difficult to be an entrepreneur in India. I want to ask you on behalf of everyone, how is it to be a politician? How is it to be you?
बहुत सारे गाली मिलते हैं जब सोशल मीडिया में आप एक्टिव होते हो ना प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि बहुत कुछ सुनने को मिलता है सी earlier in the days when social media was not as important as it is today in our day-to-day lives politicians I guess were immune उनको नहीं समझ आता था कि लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि हर कोई आपके आंखों के सामने तो कुछ नहीं बोलता है आपके पीठ पीछे बहुत कुछ बोलते हैं so after social media's advent I'm telling you, it is a huge, huge challenge being in public life, being a politician. But the good thing is you also get unadulterated feedback. You know exactly what people are thinking. You know exactly what is on their mind. You know exactly what is bothering them. So therefore, I guess it's a mixed bag. But I must give it to these guys because Hyderabadis have been way too kind. People of Telangana have been way too affectionate. So I can't complain and, the story has been great so far.
Yeah, but I think sometimes one of the things I was just thinking, and it's good that there's so many entrepreneurs, is like you said, we are very eager and quick to appreciate anything which is West, and be it Silicon Valley or everything else, and it also, leaders. But I just think somehow that we have to appreciate our own leaders, and I honestly think that I don't know you very well, but I definitely, whatever have tracked you, is that you're a very straightforward and you are a very good speaker. You speak very well and you've done and made things happen. And Funny was telling me recently that it's very difficult to say no to KTR. And I think we all need to give a big round. The anchor was saying, Tali bajaiye. Mujhe lagta hai a leader among us needs a standing ovation because we need strong, smart, young leaders. Right? Otherwise,
Thank you,
we'll all
appreciate
keep going to, we'll all say, Arey, US mein wo acha tha, Macron is handsome in France, but we need to appreciate what we have. And, so I just thought that let me set context with that, but coming back.
एक मिनट I've never heard anybody say Macron is smart. I've always heard people say Justin Trudeau and
Yeah, I met both of them. And I really appreciated them. So I'm just appreciating, like somehow we have to do that. We have to have this thing of appreciating our own. So KTR, Hyderabad, when will it be the #1 startup destination in India?
I have a question for you. When is your story having a lot more presence in Hyderabad? When are you putting more people on the ground here and moving your base from Bangalore to Hyderabad?
See, that is why...
Big round of applause for Shraddha so that she doesn't.
That is why I was nervous to have this conversation, because then you'll make me commit to something on stage, which I will not. But we will definitely have a very big presence. After meeting you, it's very hard to say no. So I'm here after a week.
Thank you. Welcome
Yeah,
back.
but tell us what, we are seeing so many stories and so many things happening. But what more? What more?
I'll tell you what. In fact, I'll tell you an interesting story. A lot of people think, a lot of people assume that in a world where technology is all pervasive, in a world where technology has created a flat world and each country is a small village, that sort of jargon we keep hearing. I've realized one day in speaking to a very, very smart young man from Hyderabad that is not actually true. In fact, being in the same physical space matters. The reason why I say this is because you may be knowing about this gentleman called Sama Fanindra, who's the founder of Redbus. I don't know if he's in the room somewhere. He's also the CEO of the Telangana State Innovation Cell. He leads our innovation efforts. So he was telling me one day, he's based out of Bangalore, while he's actually from Telangana. He's actually based in Bangalore. So when I actually met with Funny, I asked him, I said, why don't you invest? Because, a lot of young guys in Hyderabad are looking to people to invest some time, some money, some efforts into them. He said, absolutely, I'm coming to Hyderabad, let me do that. So as soon as I came back to Hyderabad, I told a bunch of guys here that Funny is actually keen and he's looking to invest in Hyderabad. So some of them reached out to him. उन्होंने एक ने तो फोन किया, किसी ने उनको ईमेल भेजा, कहा कि Funny मुझे मिलना है. तो Funny said, I'm coming next week to Hyderabad, I'll meet you then. But since he was in Bangalore, 2 दिन बाद किसी ने बैंगलोर में उनको एक मैसेज भेजा है कि मैं मिलना चाहता हूँ. Funny met him the same day, he liked the idea, he invested in him.
Yeah.
Point I'm trying to make is physical proximity to your mentors, to your investors. I understand virtual mentoring, I understand all the things that are virtual. But there are certain things which are real and which cannot be substituted. When Hyderabad has a very strong network of mentors, a very strong network of venture capitalists, very strong network of private equity players, and a very strong network of your stories and our stories, and people who broadcast our success and relate to the world and attract attention to us, I think then Hyderabad can compete on an even keel. See, in terms of talent, there is abundant talent in Hyderabad. In terms of brilliance, there is abundance. But the problem is, there are not enough forums, there are not enough avenues, there are not enough people shouting from the rooftop and saying, there is a bloody brilliant idea here, why don't you come and pick it up? So when that network happens, I'm saying when, not if. When that happens, I think we can compete with Bangalore and other ecosystems across the world on an even keel. And I do believe that we will shine brighter than them and better than them also.
It's also one of the things that I keep hearing is that people say a lot of things are happening in Hyderabad, but what is happening to develop the ecosystem outside Hyderabad in Telangana? Like, if you are from a small town, how do you develop yourself? How do you get that ecosystem?
मुश्किल है, मैं मानता हूँ. It's a bit difficult. It's more of an uphill task, especially if you're from outside of Hyderabad. Because being in Hyderabad, it does have a locational advantage, like I pointed out. But if you're from outside, it is a bit more difficult. But we're doing 2-3 things which might be of help. Government of Telangana, in fact, has created what I alluded to, called as the Telangana State Innovation Cell, which is now going around creating fellowships, creating avenues in rural colleges, rural high schools, attracting them and goading them to pursue entrepreneurship. The second thing we are also doing, in fact, our state's higher education council is now in active dialogue with the state's universities to offer course credits for entrepreneurship. That might also spur some more entrepreneurship in the rural areas. The third thing I'll point out, we do have a rural technology policy. We do have a lot of rural innovators who come up to us, who meet us, and who talk to us on how they can go forward with the support of the state government. The last thing I would like to point out, like how in Hubli you have that sandbox. We also have some very bright young entrepreneurs who've come back. And in Nizamabad, we have the Kakatiya sandbox. And there are a couple more sandboxes coming up across the state of Telangana. So all these together will, I'm sure, lead to some more, some more of the pots boiling.
So KTR, one question I had is, if you see the startup ecosystem in India per se, right now it's very software driven, right? Like it is like, be it Swiggy, Zomato, and they're doing incredibly well. But do you see that for Telangana, it has to be the same model, or do you think because it is a strong agri base, pharma base, it could be something different?
There are a lot of different things in Telangana that we could be doing. For instance, when we started working about 5 years ago, we did not focus on technology as a vertical alone. We looked at life sciences. In fact, Ajit here is sitting, and he's been, in fact, in active correspondence, in active dialogue, and active engagement with all the research institutions such as CCMB, the Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology, National Institute of Nutrition, and a bunch of other scientific institutions which work in a variety of spaces. In fact, when Manohar Parrikar was the defense minister, we floated an idea. Hyderabad being, one of the defense hubs in India, we also wanted to create a defense incubator. IIT Hyderabad, when they launched their incubator, they focused on healthcare particularly. They also, of course, have digressed and do multiple things, but they focused on healthcare. Likewise, we have ICRISAT here, the International Crop Research Institute in Semi-Arid Tropics. They've launched an agri-tech incubator. So each of these institutions collaborates with the government and also with other incubators, and therefore we have a very vibrant ecosystem which doesn't necessarily focus only on fintech or agri-tech or one of the verticals. It is pretty different, pretty spread out, pretty different, and more importantly, we have T-Works coming up, which I believe will lead to a lot more young guys who are interested in prototyping, who are interested in actually, the physical, touchy-feely kind of workspace. I think it'll lead to more and more.
So you're creating a maker space here.
Absolutely. In fact, that's coming up soon. I think Jayesh can give you more details, but I think it's going to be up and running in the next 3 months.
Wow. KTR, also, now that we're talking about the prototype space, again, one more segment I want to talk about. I loved the book and so many amazing entrepreneurs, but I was just thinking that why wasn't there awareness to get women on, and you seem to me a very forward, leader in this country, and why the miss here?
Well, I didn't write the book firstly.
Everyone was taking your
somebody
autograph.
who actually wrote the book, or the women and the men who wrote the book, have to walk up here and actually talk about it. But let me also point out, they actually shared with me that there is a next book which is actually exclusive to women entrepreneurs, so that's the good news. Now, about Telangana government's efforts, in fact, let me point out, back in 2017 when the Global Entrepreneurship Summit was held in Hyderabad, with the theme Women Empowerment.
Yeah.
On the concluding day, we had announced that India's first women entrepreneurship hub will be created in Hyderabad. And today I'm delighted, I'm happy that it is shaped up really well. I don't know if Deepthi is here. She leads it. She's somewhere here, I hope. I hope you can pay a visit. I hope you can
Yeah.
talk to some of the women entrepreneurs there. And we also have 3 women-only industrial parks in Telangana. And they've also shaped up well. So hopefully, besides Anu Acharya, I'm sure there are many, many women entrepreneurs who want to emulate her, who want to outdo her, and who want to actually be very, very successful entrepreneurs and who want more books, come out in their.
But I have to
They respect.
congratulate you on this because I keep talking to different state governments and technical institutes, and they say, "Oh, we have money, but nobody comes forward to create a women's incubation." But if you've done it, that's a huge thing. This must be the only one in India.
I believe so. In fact, I believe this is the only one. We had Amitabh Kant here yesterday, and he interacted with many of the young women who work out of VHub and also possibly other ecosystems in Hyderabad. He was hugely appreciative. In fact, he took the time out, he called me, appreciated the state government for keeping up its word on the day, when we concluded GES. We promised it would be done. We have created it, so he was very appreciative. And he said, in fact, Jayesh was just telling me that Niti Aayog, in fact, might write to other states recommending that this be replicated across the country. So yes, it's a huge compliment for us.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
If all the entrepreneurs want to engage, you got Fanindra Sama and you got Best. I absolutely respect him a lot. If people want to participate with you and people from Hyderabad and Telangana and all these amazing entrepreneurs, talent that you have, how do you plan to get them involved in helping the state grow?
In helping the state, one of the things we do, which we did when I was a minister, was that we offered that government would be your first customer. If you actually have a bright idea, we could allow you to do a proof of concept with the government. For instance, Prem was just telling me that this drone thing that he's built, which can go after water hyacinth and mosquitoes in lakes, the sewage problem which creates it. He's welcome to work with us. Similarly, whenever a startup approached us, whenever a young enterprise approached us, we actually, through our policy, offer them a preferential, allotment. We offer them an opportunity to work with us. And once they're successful, obviously, the world is at their feet and they can, lap it up.
Yeah. Now, KTR, I've asked you all amazing questions. Now I want to ask you some personal questions.
Yes, please.
So, okay, what should be the personal question that I should ask you is, I'm very intrigued that you studied, you were in US and you've come back here and you've become such a face in politics. How is it? Was the transition easy or is it
No, it's
something you thought always you'll do?
I'm a second generation politician. I mean, I'm from a political family, so, I'm not somebody who had to fight up the ladder to get into politics. So that was easy. But of course, when you walk in as a second gen guy, be it an entrepreneur or be it a politician or be it a sports personality or whatever, you do have big shoes to fill. So therefore, that there is an expectation of you, so therefore it becomes that much more difficult to live up to, that expectation. But end of the day, I think being somebody's son or daughter or being somebody's, relative can only take you so far. Beyond that, because it serves only as an entry pass, beyond that, it's all you. Whether you're capable, whether you're good enough, whether you can stand to the scrutiny, etc., etc. So the fact that I've won 4 elections already, I guess I must be doing all right, so doing okay.
Yeah, but tell us, because I'm very intrigued with politics. Somewhere you just think that politicians are very shrewd and cunning and conniving, and you have to be really, you have to be really, what should I say? You have to be really bad to be a successful.
गाली गलौज करना होता है.
हाँ भाई
हाँ.
हाँ, और गुंडे टाइप के होते हैं.
हाँ, कभी का एक बार करना होता है. आप सब लोग नहीं करते हो क्या निजी जिंदगी में? You all, I'm sure, have at some point have said a lot of things that you're not very proud of. So it's just that we are more on camera. So कभी का एक बार हो जाता है. Part of life, yeah. We're all human.
And do you learn to develop a thick skin, or you always had that?
No, I still don't have thick skin. I have very low tolerance for criticism, is what a lot of people tell me. So yeah, it's good to be sensitive. It's good to be sensitive in politics, because when you develop a thick skin, it doesn't matter what people think, what they say about you. But if you're a bit sensitive, if you're a bit sensitive to criticism, comments, suggestions, then I guess that side of that compassionate side of you comes to the fore. And if you stop being sensitive, I think you should stop being in politics and being in public life also. Because once you stop being sensitive, you can't respond to people's needs, you can't respond to people's ideas or their concerns.
Yeah. That's a great. I'll tell next time in my board meeting if someone says you're sensitive and emotional, because that's generally looked down, right, in our country as
हाँ,
being-
स्पेशली अमोंग मेल्स. अगर कोई बच्चा बोलता है कि मैं सेंसिटिव हूँ थोड़ा ज़्यादा, तो उसको थोड़ा अजीब सा देखते हैं, वो तो है.
in startup world, the benchmark for entrepreneurs is कि unicorn बनना है. I have to be, a $1 billion company. As a politician, what is your aim? कि क्या बनना है?
See, politicians, unfortunately, we are subject to constant scrutiny. अगर इस देश में कोई ऐसा क्लास ऑफ वर्क है जिसको हर कोई मतलब हर किसी को कोई शिकायत किसी से है, तो शायद वो पॉलिटिशियन पहला है. और दूसरी बात, हमारे ब्यूरोक्रेट्स के बारे में भी लोगों का राय इतना ज़्यादा, एक्सेप्ट जयेश इज अ गुड गाय. So except Jayesh Ranjan, I don't think there are, there's a great deal of respect for either politicians or bureaucrats. So yes, you do have your own off days, but we are subject to constant scrutiny, especially in the world of social media. Every day, something happens somewhere, and you are asked a question कि ऐसा आपने क्यों किया या आपने ऐसा क्यों नहीं किया, etc., etc. So yeah, there are those days when you feel कि क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं इसमें? What am I doing here? Do I even fit in, or do I even need this? But then there are those days when you actually feel gratified. That you've done something good and you get a lot of compliments, you get a lot of good feedback. So therefore, like anything else, it's a mixed bag. I'm sure you have your good days and bad days at your story. So therefore, you got to take it as a territorial thing.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less.
And if you have to say to all of us that, in hindsight, if you see, at least for the tenure you've been a politician, what have you done right which has worked for you?
मेरा अभी innings खत्म नहीं हुआ.
नहीं.
You make me sound like some old politician just because I have a graying beard here. And
No,
see,
because
my
you won.
innings is not over yet. It has just begun. So therefore, I'll answer your question on what I've done right versus wrong. Maybe when I'm of the age of either Sharad Pawar or कौन है देश में?
मैं नहीं
Or
बोलूंगी.
Narendra Modi ji, I don't know.
Oh, no.
When I'm 68, 69, maybe then.
No, but still tell us what you would be saying, that reflecting and saying, hey, these are one or two things I am on the right path. These are things that work for me.
Well, one of the things I'm proud of is, see, I do anything with conviction. When I do something, I do it with all my heart. There are no half measures. So when I was Minister of IT and Industry, I worked wholeheartedly. I made sure, along with a good team, of course, Jayesh and others, we made sure that Telangana's presence in India was felt, and Telangana, in fact, in a very short span of time, emerged onto the scene as a very vibrant state which delivers on its promises. That's something I'm very, very upbeat about and very, very happy about. But there are a lot of other things which in hindsight, you look back and say, I could have done that better. Of course, that, applies to all of us. So I'm happy about the ground we have covered, but there are miles to go before we sleep, like they say. Yeah.
I just wanted to share with everyone. So first time I saw KTR was in Bangalore. So there was this event of Kalari Capital. They had this annual event. And so KTR was very suited and properly dressed. It was a fancy event with all big investors and everyone. And, we were all sitting and enjoying the great weather. And he comes on stage and it's an open stage, open air. And he comes on stage and he says, as of course with his high energy face and all that, and he says, what do you have in Bangalore? What do you guys have in Bangalore? Except the great weather, there's nothing. Everything else is in Telangana. And I was just thinking, look at the audacity and the confidence of someone coming in a room. He was the only one, and I think, Jayesh, you were also there. And I was just thinking, who is this guy who's coming? And everyone was shocked. All of us were like, you just have the weather, but you've had that confidence.
See, Bangalore has, I'll tell you what we have and what they don't.
Oh, no, no, no.
See, Chennai has terrible humidity, right? Terrible humidity and a bad government. Secondly, Bangalore has a weak government, lots of traffic, and lots of other terrible things I'm not going to talk about. Delhi has smog, and they also have Arvind Kejriwal, unfortunately. Bombay is Bombay. Hyderabad has a great ecosystem. We also have fantastic biryani. We have a decent government, and we have lots of good, young, vibrant entrepreneurs. So,
See, you won your audience. You're amazing, Mr. KTR. No, can I ask you last question? Do we have time, or I'm running out of time?
yeah.
One last question. I would again get you to tell me that it is 2019. We are in entering July. What can we expect from this startup? You know, the work you're doing for startup and entrepreneurs. What's your big vision in the next 1 or 2 years here? I'll not ask 5 years because time बहुत
Yeah,
दूर है.
5 years is too long a time.
हाँ.
See, two things. One, like I said, when I said this to Prime Minister Modi, I meant it. When he asked all of us a pointed question, he said, 75 साल हो गए आज़ादी के, क्या करना चाहिए? नया भारत बनाने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए? मैंने जब उनसे कहा कि इनोवेशन पे ध्यान दीजिए, मैं मजाक नहीं कर रहा था, मैं ऐसे ही नहीं बोल रहा था, मैं जनरली कोई स्पीच नहीं कर रहा था, क्योंकि बहुत बुरा लगता है जब भी हम बाहर जाते हैं कोई भी देश और वापस आते हैं, especially in this world where all of us are very mobile, we travel the world, you feel terrible. You feel terrible about so many things. So one of the things I think we all need to be focused on, as governments especially, as people in government or as party that is in government today, is that there are a lot of bright young people out there who are extremely restive, who are extremely restless. उनको कुछ करना है, बेचैनी बहुत है. Unless we address their aspirations properly, that will result in a huge backlash. And the only way a government can address it, in my humble opinion, is by staying out of it. And the reason why I say this is because, like you pointed out, I lived in the United States for about 8 years. उन 8 सालों में, in those 8 years, I've only had to go to a government office once. Now that's, in my opinion, ideal government. जो आपके रास्ते के बीच में कोई रुकावट ना डाले, जो आपको अपना काम करने दे, आपको एक ऐसा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और ऐसा फैसिलिटेटिंग एनवायरनमेंट दे जहां आप चाहे एंटरप्रेन्योर हो, चाहे एक एम्प्लॉई हो, चाहे कोई और भी हो, आप महफूज हो, सेफ हो, और योर इन्वेस्टमेंट इज सेफ and you have a conducive business environment where you can just go about doing your business and where free market can determine the success or failure of your enterprise. I think if we can make some progress toward that direction, I think that would be ideal government in my head. Ease of doing business is something that we've been able to crack. In the last 2 years, Telangana stood number 1 on Government of India's rankings. Going forward, I do hope and I do pray that we as a country move from 100, I think we are ranked in the world's ease of doing business, to possibly to the top 10, and thereby giving all these young guys, the world on a platter, and, making sure free market helps them with their entrepreneurial ideas. That's all I would say.
Okay, one last, I want you to say this because you told me, and after that I Googled about the lift irrigation project, and when I was writing the article I Googled, and I personally felt very proud that Washington Post, New York Times, everyone has said that it's the largest irrigation project in the world. And I thought somewhere we all need to celebrate it more because, when you said, I thought, hoga, magar world ka sabse bada nahi hoga. But it is. And I would say that if you could tell us all so that we all go back feeling proud that we have something like that here in Telangana.
Absolutely. In fact, what Shraddha is referring to is the new project, the new lift irrigation project called Kaleshwaram, which was dedicated to the nation on the 21st of June by our Honorable Chief Minister. It's the world's largest multi-stage lift irrigation project. The world's largest project completed by the youngest state in India in a record time of 3 years. See, what we ought to be proud of is on 2-3 counts. One, earlier, any project in India used to take decades, not even years,
Yeah.
decades to complete, especially irrigation works, because there is the issue of designs, there is the issue of environment, there is the issue of money, etc., etc. Now all those have been addressed, and a project which can irrigate 45 lakh acres of land, which can really tilt the scales and bring about a lot of economic vibrancy to our state, has been completed in a record time of 3 years. But दूसरी बात यह है कि जब तक न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स ने इसको रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं किया, जब तक वॉशिंगटन पोस्ट ने रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं किया, श्रद्धा शर्मा ने भी रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं किया. ये गलत बात है. नहीं, but I'll tell you why. Lot of times, I'm not ragging you. Lot of times, actually I am. Lot of times, हमारे कोई आदमी बहुत ग्रेट है, ये जानने के लिए भी हमें बहुत वक्त लगता है. मैं इसीलिए कह रहा हूं क्योंकि when I was growing up, I grew up in Sachin Tendulkar's time. Sachin was obviously a hero for all of us. My favorite was Rahul Dravid, but Sachin was a hero for all of us. But जब सचिन तेंदुलकर के बारे में डॉन ब्रैडमैन ने कहा, ये तो मेरे जैसा खेलता है, he's like me, he's cut in my mold. Only then we all sat up and took notice and said, wow, this guy is actually great. He's an all-time great. Point I'm trying to make is, it should not come to some, foreign agency recognizing our efforts or our projects and saying, you guys have done a great job. I think we have to get out of that colonial mindset and start, recognizing our own achievements.
I praise the lift irrigation. You have to say that we have to start recognizing and get people to read your story. I've written about it.
Can I say that once she moves to Hyderabad, we'll all be on your story. That will be our homepage. We all love you, Shraddha. We'll make sure that your story has a lot of fan following and a huge base in Hyderabad. Welcome to Hyderabad. Move away from Bangalore. Anything can happen in Bangalore. Lots of good things can happen in Hyderabad.
Thank you, KTR. It was an absolute pleasure.
Cheers.
We want to see you right at the top. I won't say, let's keep the milestone.
ऊपर?
अभी तो आपकी शुरुआत है.
Sure.
Thank you so much.